I knew that healing from my child's sexual abuse would be hard, and I also realized it would take a lot of reaching back into my past, reaching out to people for help. I just didn't realize that the reaching out would create the ultimate healing. Hi, everybody. Kevin Barheit here. Thanks for tuning in. A lot of the work that I've done so far to heal physically and to heal mentally has been about reaching out to my past and about reaching deeply out to other people and to myself, to my childhood self, to my physical self, to my emotional self, to my mental self. That reaching out was setting me on a trajectory for reaching out to others to help them. It makes so much sense now, but I didn't realize during the time it was happening that my physical brokenness, my inability to heal physically, would keep me from others, would necessarily keep me from others, not only from the others that would harm me, but from others that could help me and from others that I might help. And the mental blockades were just tremendous. They were walls like walls of steel and walls of brick and walls of ice. There was no way for me to get past them until I did the hard work of going back into my past, about understanding what happened, but even more so about reaching out deeply to the child that I was before I was abused, when I was abused, and after I was abused, to understand that part of the healing had to come from within, from deep within me. And I think that working with my sponsor and working within the 12-step groups and other support groups to find that community where we could heal together made all the difference in the world. I was extraordinarily broken and extraordinarily needy. There was a lot of reaching out, but it was reaching out to receive. It was reaching out to get the help that I needed to grow, to change, to understand, and to progress in my healing, in my journey of recovery. And throughout those days, and throughout especially the early days of that journey, I felt like all the work that I was doing was to put this behind me. The less I thought about it, the more I felt like I could heal. The less I focused on this in my life, and the less it materialized in the behaviors that I was exhibiting in my life, the negative behaviors, the more I felt free of it. The more I felt free of it, the less I wanted to go back and examine it. The less I wanted to relive it, and the less I wanted to even talk about it. But the turning point for me was really when I realized that all this healing, all this recovery, all this growth, and all this stability in my life, it was mine to keep, but I can only keep what I have by giving it away, sharing it with others, making others a part of my world and a part of my healing process. I remember the day I was sitting in Brooklyn on the front steps of a 12-step meeting, and one of the fellas had gone outside, and I could tell that he was really upset over something, and I sat next to him and I waited for him to talk. And he shared something with me that I won't share here, but it was devastating, something from his past. And I knew that he could barely breathe, he could barely get the words out. It was the first time that I had the opportunity to really share my story with someone else. And when I did that, I could see him listening. I could see something in his mind quieting. I could even see his body, his shoulders relaxing. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know what his life turned out to be, but I do know that that moment in time was the moment in time when I realized all that I'd went through was not for naught if I could share it with others. All the struggles, all the pain, all the agony that I'd endured, even in the healing process, was going to be of value if I could share it with others and we could do it together. But the reaching out process didn't end there. I was getting good at reaching out for help for myself. Now I was practicing reaching out to others to help them. But the final piece was reaching out to my higher power. And that was really the toughest. That was the worst. That was a horror show for me because I had always felt unworthy. I was unworthy of my own self, was unworthy of being here, I was unworthy of other people and especially healthy people in my life, and I was surely going to be unworthy of having a God or a higher power in my life that could love me for who I was. And that's a journey I'm still on today. One of prayer and meditation, one of mindfulness, one of contemplative understanding of why I'm here, who I am. All that's happened to me makes me who I am today. I'm not just a physical being that needed healing. I'm not just a mental being that needed healing. I'm a spiritual creation. I'm a spiritual being. I'm full of love, full of pain, full of hope, full of sadness, but I'm full. And today that fullness extends to others. That fullness extends to the people that I reach out to for help, and that fullness extends to the people that reach out to help from me. That fullness extends to my journey here, making YouTube videos to share these stories with others. And it extends to my wife and my children and my family and extended family. And that fullness of who I am extends to my higher power, to my relationship with my higher power. My higher power's love, unconditional love for me. And that love, which fills me, and that relationship which sustains me through everything. Sustains me through the joy, sustains me through the sadness, sustains me through the moments when I still struggle mentally with what's happened to me, sustains me through the physical, sometimes struggle that I still have with my own body and what's happened to me. And it sustains us. It sustains us together as we grow and as we change and as we struggle with these issues together. And as we find physical, mental, spiritual, emotional well-being. As we find this together, as we grow together, it's our journey to share with each other and to share with others. And that's how we'll not only get through this together, not only surmount this together, we'll learn to not only be survivors of child sexual abuse, we'll learn to thrive and we'll learn to live beyond our wildest dreams. I feel fully blessed that I've had the opportunity to share these parts of my life with you, and I feel fully grateful that you've taken the time to be with me. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe if you haven't. Hope to see you next week. Take care.